Hello, and welcome back to the original Larry D's Food for Thought. Today we will be reading, of course, out of the Old King James Bible, and we also will be reading here a little and there a little. We'll be reading the Old Testament and the New Testament, okay? Just like the Lord had it written, to the law and to the testimony. Anybody speaking not according to both of this word, there's no light in them, and that light is truth. Okay. But he wrote it that way as you get some understanding. Got to read a little bit over here and a little bit over there. Okay. And also, we will be going over a few scriptures today concerning the title, Remember the Lord's Sabbath Day and Don't Pollute It. Remember the Lord's Sabbath Day and don't pollute it. Okay. All right. I'm going to share these scriptures with you right quick here, and you can jot them down or take a screenshot of them if you like to. But yeah, I tell you, people, the Lord take his Sabbath day very serious. Okay. You know, people lightly esteem the word of God. They don't take it serious. I'm gonna tell you something. If you don't keep the Lord's Sabbath day, you know, he had it written. He said, you'll be cut off. Okay. And you might say, hey, well, I'm going to church on Sunday. I'm still living. I ain't been cut off. Okay. Tell you something. Did not the Lord say that he would let the wheat grow with the tare? Hmm? He let the wheat grow with the tares. He will separate at the harvest. Okay. And I tell you what, you haven't did what the Lord say. You haven't kept them commandments, because he told you, he said, if you break the least one of these, you are offended in all. Okay. So you don't keep his commandments, man, I'll tell you something. You're going to have a problem at the end, okay? At the end of the line. Okay. But anyway, I'm going to stop sharing these here. We're going to get into these scriptures right quick and see if we can get a little bit of understanding on the Lord's Sabbath day and how you don't want you polluting it, okay? Excuse me. All right, but we're going to start this in Exodus. Exodus, the 20th chapter. And let me do something here right quick. Excuse me for a second. And yeah, we're going to start this in Exodus, the 20th chapter. I want to start reading at verse 8. And it reads, Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Okay. 9. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. So the Lord give you 6 days to do all your work and your pleasures. And on the seventh day, let's see, verse 10, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. What day is the seventh day? Everybody has a calendar. Most everybody got a cell phone. Oh, you got a calendar hanging up on your wall. Just look at it. Start counting from the left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that day is Saturday. Okay. Now the Lord didn't put names on the days of the week. He only named that one day, that seventh day. And he called it his Sabbath day. Okay. But let's read on. In it thou shalt not do any work. He told you don't work on that day. Now, God is a reasonable God. He said, come, let us reason together. Okay. Now, your boss man say, hey, you got to work, then you got to do what you got to do. But the Lord understands that. But if he asks for volunteers and you volunteer to work, or you choose to work on his Sabbath day, that is going to be on you. Okay. Now, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. So who does that cover? Everybody. Okay. It's not for just the Jews. It's for everybody to keep the Lord's Sabbath day. Verse 11. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. He stressed that seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it, made it holy. Okay? So that day is holy, and we should keep it holy. All right? But let's go over here to Leviticus right quick. I want to show you something. What the Lord had written here. I'm going to Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. I'm going to read one verse right here. It's verse 3, and it reads, 6 days shall work be done. Okay, 6 days, Sunday through Friday. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Now, what is a holy convocation? That is a holy gathering. Okay, so you go to church on that day, on the Sabbath day. Keep that holy convocation. All right. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwelling. You see that? It is the Sabbath of the Lord. It's not the Sabbath of the Jews. Okay. When the Lord created his Sabbath day, he created it for man and not man for the Sabbath. Okay. And that was not even a Jew in existence when the Lord created his Sabbath day. Okay. So, and can't be using that term. Sabbath day is for the Jews. Okay. And Sunday is for the Christians. I'm show you something about that Christian thing. All right. All right, but let's move on. Let's go back. Let's go over here to Genesis while we're here in the old book. Go to Genesis, the second chapter. I'll show you something here. Everybody see what day this seventh day is. Okay, go in Genesis, second chapter, start reading at verse, let's see. Start reading at verse 1. And it reads, Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. So the Lord had finished all his work now, okay? And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made. Okay. So he worked 6 days, created the heaven and earth and all that in them is, and he rested on that seventh day. Stress that seventh day, people. From all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day. He blessed that day and sanctified it. Now, what does sanctified mean? That means he set it apart. He set it apart from the other 6 days of the week. People say, well, you can serve the Lord on any day. Yes, you can. But what did he tell you to do on that seventh day? Okay, keep that in mind, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. So we're looking at the seventh day of the week, which we know is Saturday. That is the Lord's Sabbath day. He sanctified, he hallowed it, made it holy, and said, keep it and do not pollute it. Okay, but let's move on. Let's go over here to Isaiah right quick. People say, well, that's actually, hey, that's for the Jews. Okay, let's see if it is indeed just for the Jews. All right, take a look at this right here. This is Isaiah 56 chapter. Quick look at this right quick here. Going to Isaiah 56, and we are going to start reading at verse 1. And it reads, Thus saith the Lord, keep ye judgment and do justice, for my salvation is near to come, and my righteousness to be revealed. Verse 2, blessed is the man. Wait a minute. You say blessed is the Jew? Nope. Blessed is the man. Okay, and that includes woman too. Okay. Blessed is the man that doeth this, and the Son of Man that layeth hold on it, that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it. Okay? And keepeth his hand from doing any evil. All right? So don't pollute the Lord's Sabbath day. Verse 6. Also, here we go now. Also, the son of the stranger. Now, who was the stranger? Don't that include everybody? Okay, it's not just for the Jews. Okay, that join themselves to the Lord, to serve him and to love the name of the Lord, to be his servant. Everyone, okay, everyone that keepeth his Sabbath from polluting it and taketh hold of my covenant, even them will he bring to his holy mountain. Okay, but he talking to everybody. Okay, and if you knew who gave you Sunday worship, just do a little bit of research. You'll find out that a man gave you Sunday worship, not the Lord. Okay? But let's move on. Let's go right over here. Let's turn right over here to the next book. Let's go to Jeremiah right quick. Show you something right quick here. We'll go to Jeremiah 17 right quick, and we are going to start reading at verse Let's see, verse 21, and it reads, Thus saith the Lord, take heed to yourselves and bear no burden on the Sabbath day. Oh, don't want you bearing no burden, man. He said, keep it holy, be joyful. Okay, go into his house with a joyful heart, joyful mind. Okay, nor bring it in by the gates of Jerusalem. Okay, neither carry forth a burden out of your house on the Sabbath day. So you got something going on, you're arguing or something, man, with your spouse or either your kids or whatever, man. You come back, you still got that thing in your mind. Now you're gonna go to church with that on your mind. Don't bear that. Don't bear that into the Lord. Don't bring it out of your house. Okay. Neither do ye any work. They say it again. If you don't have to, but hallow ye the Sabbath, keep it holy. Hallow ye the Sabbath day as I commanded your fathers. Okay. No. Now, let's move on. Now, let's go over here to the testimony, the New Testament, and take a look at this because people say, call themselves a Christian. The Christian is, Sunday is for the Christian. Well, let's see. Let's see. Because we know that to be a Christian, that means to be Christ-like, right? That means you're going to be Christ-like. You do things that Christ did. All right. Let's see what Christ did. All right. We are going to, let me see. Where we at? I'm at the wrong book here. Going to, what did I look? Luke. Matthew, Mark, Luke. Going to Luke, the 4th chapter, right quick. And let's take a look at this and see what Christ did. Okay. Luke, the 4th chapter, and we'll start reading at verse 14. And it reads, And Jesus returned in the power. Now, this is after he had got baptized. Okay. And Jesus returned in the power of the Spirit into Galilee, and there went out a fame of him through all the regions round about. And he taught in their synagogues, being glorified of all. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, and as his custom was, what is a custom? That's something you do all the time, right? Okay. And as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day. And stood up for to read. So the Lord went to church on his Sabbath day that he created, set an example for us. Now, you want to be Christ-like, call yourself a Christian? What are you doing on Sunday? Got to ask yourself that question. Got to ask yourself that question. Okay, now, but let's move on. Let's turn over here. Let's go back to the law. To the law and to the testimony. Let's go over here to Nehemiah. Take a look at something here because Lord told you do not pollute his Sabbath day. Okay. So let's take a quick look at this right here. Going to Nehemiah, the 10th chapter. And I'm going to read one verse right here. And it reads, And if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sale, that we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath or on the holy day, and that we would leave the 7th year and the exation of every debt. So therefore, Lord don't want you buying or selling on the Sabbath day. But what do? You go to church, you leave church, you go to the restaurants, you buy your dinner. If they sell it to you, you buy it. So don't buy or sell. Lord told you, he said, see that which you would see on the day prior to the Sabbath, which will be Friday. Cook that which you will cook. Prepare it for the Sabbath day. And then don't try and get slick and try and say, well, I'm going to use a microwave. No, he told you don't kindle a fire. Okay, so a microwave is not kindling a fire, but a microwave sees food, don't it? Okay, so therefore, don't cheat. They ain't gonna hurt you to eat a little cold food on one day. You know, just don't cook, don't kindle a fire. All right, but let's move on. Let's go over here to Nehemiah 13th chapter, and we are going to start reading at verse 15. And we see what happened here, man. Lord don't want you buying and selling on his Sabbath day. Okay. Don't buy, don't sell, don't work. And when he talking about work, he said no manner of work. Okay. Now, some of his feast days, he said no, do no servile work on some of them. Okay. But that means working for money only. But and you can do other things concerning the feast days, preparing for that. But however, on the Sabbath day, he said, do no manner of work, none whatsoever. That means cooking, cleaning, ironing, mowing your lawn, washing your car, doing all kinds of stuff. That's work. Okay. Don't do it. It's a day of rest. Remember it, keep it holy. Don't pollute it. That's how you pollute the Lord's Sabbath day. Okay, verse 15, Nehemiah 13, verse 15, and it reads, in those days saw I in Judah some treading wine presses on the Sabbath and bringing in sheaves and laden asses, as also wine, grapes, and figs, and all manner of burdens, which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. And I testified against them in the day wherein they sold victuals. Okay, so Nehemiah testified against these cats. Verse 16. There dwelt men of Tyre also therein, which brought fish and all manner of ware and sold on the Sabbath unto the children of Judah and Jerusalem. 17. Then I contended with the nobles of Judah and said unto them, what evil thing is this ye do, and profane the Sabbath day? Profaning it, Lord, Sabbath day, by selling that stuff and buying it. Okay. Did not your fathers just did that, and did not our God bring all this evil upon us? They were doing that stuff back then. Lord, bring evil on you for doing it. Okay, and upon this city, yet ye bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath day. Okay, 19. And it came to pass that when the gate of Jerusalem began to be dark before the Sabbath, I commanded that the gates should be shut, and charged that ye should not be open. They should not be open till after the Sabbath. And some of my servants set I at the gate. He said, some servants there, that there should no burden be brought in on the Sabbath day. So the merchants and sellers of all kinds of ware lodged without Jerusalem once or twice. Then I testified against them. Nehemiah said, he testified against them and said unto them, why lodge ye about the wall? Why y'all sitting up here? If ye do again, I will lay hands on you. For that time forth came they no more on the Sabbath day. He said, man, Nehemiah won't plan, boy. He said, look, you guys come up here trying to sell this stuff again, I'm going to put hands on you. And you mean hands, he talking about beat them up. You know, he had some prophets in play, man. They was serious about that thing. All right. And Lord, take it serious. And we should too. All right. But let's go take a look at something. See, you keep the Lord's Sabbath day. See what he do. You keep it. Going over here to Exodus, going back to the law. Okay. Now going to Exodus 31. And I'm going to start reading that verse. Let's see. That's 32. Exodus 31 and verse 14. And it reads, ye shall keep the Sabbath therefore, for it is holy unto you. Okay. Everyone that defileth it shall surely be put to death. Okay. How do you defile it? We just read. Okay. Buying, selling, working, doing all manner of things under the sun, rather than keeping the Lord's Sabbath day holy. He said, be put to death. He said, well, I've been going on Sunday. I'm still going on Sunday. I'm still living. Lord ain't killed me. Okay. Like I said before, the Lord had it written, let the wheat grow with the tares. He will separate at the harvest. Okay. You got something waiting on you at the end of the line. All right. For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people. If you don't have to work, don't. Okay. 15. 6 days may work be done. He said it again. Don't be stressing this thing, people. But in the seventh is the Sabbath of rest, holy to the Lord. Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. And I'm gonna tell you, he had an example. He made an example of this cat. You can read on your own over there. I think it's in Numbers, the 15th chapter, where this cat, man, he got caught picking up sticks on the Sabbath day, simply picking up sticks. I wonder what he was up to. Picking up, say you might was gonna kindle a fire. I'm just saying, I don't know, but 9 out of 10, he's probably gonna kindle a fire. But which he knew he shouldn't have been doing. But anyway, they didn't know what to do with him, so they locked him up. Inquired of the Lord. The Lord told him, Lord said, kill him. Took him out. Okay. So, like I say, you may not be getting banged in the head now, but hey, payday is coming. All right. Verse 16, wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant. That means forever. Okay. Now, we also read over in Isaiah 56 where he said, even the stranger, that includes everybody, not just Israel. Okay. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. So you join your hand to the Lord, the stranger. Hey, be a sign between you and the true and living God. All right. So now you keep it Sunday. Who was that a sign between? I want to think about that. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and on the 7th day he rested and was refreshed. Okay. So keep the Lord's Sabbath day and don't pollute it. Do a little research, people. Just because you see everybody else, I mean, what the Lord say? Wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be that go in thereat. Look at the amount of people on the world is in this world is keeping Sunday. Wide is that gate, all right, but straight is the gate, and narrow is the way that leadeth to life, and few that be that find it. You look at all these people on the earth. You say few, it's quite a few, but few that's keeping the Lord's Sabbath day, man. Tell you something. I want to think about this thing. Let's go to this last place right quick. Let's go to St. John right quick. Let me show you something. Going to St. John, first chapter. I'm gonna start reading at verse 1. And it reads, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. God gave his word. Okay. Who was the Word? That was Jesus. Okay, the same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, even his Sabbath day. Okay, and without him was not anything made that was made. Okay, verse 10. He was in the world. Jesus came in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. He came unto his own, and his own received him not. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name. You believe on the Lord's name, you will do what he say. He said, remember his Sabbath day to keep it holy and don't pollute it. Okay. So think about this thing. All right. So with that food for thought, think on these scriptures and words throughout the course of the day. And until next time, peace.